Monday. Mrs. Thompson's famous cookies. On Monday morning, the small corner store in the quiet neighborhood was ready for another week. The owner, Mr. Patel, opened the door and set up the fresh fruits and vegetables outside. The bell rang, and in walked Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman with a warm smile. She wore a wide-brimmed hat and carried a woven basket. "Good morning, Mr. Patel," she said cheerfully. "Good morning, Mrs. Thompson," Mr. Patel replied. "How can I help you today?" "I need some ingredients for my famous cookie recipe," she explained. "I'm baking for my grandchildren." Mrs. Thompson picked up flour, sugar, butter, and chocolate chips. She carefully checked each item and placed them in her basket. "Your cookies are the best, Mrs. Thompson," Mr. Patel said as he rang up her purchase. "Your grandchildren are lucky." Mrs. Thompson laughed softly. "Thank you, Mr. Patel. I hope they enjoy them. Baking is my way of showing love." Mr. Patel nodded. "It's a wonderful way to show love. Enjoy your baking and have a great day." With her bag of ingredients, Mrs. Thompson headed home, thinking about the joy her cookies would bring to her grandchildren. She loved spending time with them, telling them stories about when she was young, and sharing her secret cookie recipe. Every time she baked, it brought back happy memories of her own childhood, baking with her mother. Tuesday. A quick lunch. Tuesday arrived, and the store was busy. At noon, a stressed office worker named Tom rushed in. He was wearing a suit and looked very tired. His tie was slightly askew, and he had dark circles under his eyes. "Hello, Mr. Patel. I need something quick for lunch," he said, looking at his watch. "Of course, Tom. We have fresh sandwiches and salads," Mr. Patel replied. Tom picked a turkey sandwich and a bottle of water. He also grabbed an apple for dessert. "Busy day at work?" Mr. Patel asked as he scanned the items. "Yes, very busy. Thanks for having these ready-to-go meals," Tom said with a tired smile. "Anytime, Tom. Have a good day," Mr. Patel replied. Tom left the store, already unwrapping his sandwich, grateful for the quick and healthy lunch. He found a bench in a nearby park and sat down to eat, enjoying the brief respite from his hectic day. The fresh air and the delicious food helped him recharge for the afternoon ahead. Wednesday, after-school treats. On Wednesday afternoon, the bell rang loudly as a group of school kids rushed in. They were laughing and talking excitedly about their day. Their backpacks were slung over their shoulders, and they were full of energy. "Hi, Mr. Patel," they all said together. "Hello, kids. What can I get for you today?" Mr. Patel asked with a smile. The kids headed straight to the snack aisle. They picked out candy bars, chips, and sodas. They carefully counted their money to make sure they had enough. Mr. Patel watched them with amusement. "You kids always bring energy to the store," he said as he rang up their snacks. "Thanks, Mr. Patel," they shouted as they ran out of the store, eager to enjoy their treats. They sat on the curb outside, sharing their snacks and talking about their favorite video games and the latest school gossip. One of the boys, Timmy, took out his homework and showed it to his friends. "Look, I got an A on my math test," he said proudly. "Wow, Timmy, that's awesome," his friend Sarah said. "I wish I was good at math like you." Timmy smiled. "Thanks, Sarah. If you want, I can help you with your homework sometime." Sarah nodded eagerly. "That would be great. Thanks, Timmy." The Thursday. A new neighbor. Thursday was a quiet day at the store until a new face appeared. A young woman walked in, looking a bit lost. She had a map in her hand and was looking around, trying to get her bearings. "Hello, can I help you?" Mr. Patel asked kindly. "Hi, I just moved into the neighborhood," she said. "I need some directions to the post office." "Welcome to the neighborhood. The post office is just 2 blocks down. Take a left at the first stop sign, Mr. Patel explained. Thank you so much, she said with relief. By the way, your store is lovely. Thank you. Feel free to come by any time if you need anything, Mr. Patel replied. The young woman, whose name was Emily, left the store, feeling a bit more at home in her new neighborhood. She found the post office easily and sent a letter to her best friend back home, telling her all about the move and the nice people she was meeting. That evening, Emily returned to the store to pick up a few groceries. She bought some bread, milk, and a few vegetables. Mr. Patel greeted her warmly. Back so soon? He asked with a smile. Yes, I'm still getting settled in and need a few things, Emily replied. Well, if you need any help, just let me know. We're a friendly community here, Mr. Patel said. Emily smiled. Thank you, Mr. Patel. That means a lot. Friday. The mail carrier's break. Friday was a hot day, and the local mail carrier, Mr. Johnson, stopped by the store. He wiped the sweat from his forehead as he walked in. Good afternoon, Mr. Patel. Can I get a cold drink? He asked. Of course, Mr. Johnson. Help yourself, Mr. Patel said, pointing to the cooler. Mr. Johnson grabbed a cold bottle of lemonade and took a long drink. Ah, that's better, he said with a smile. Busy day? Mr. Patel asked. Yes, very busy. This heat makes it tougher, Mr. Johnson replied. Stay cool out there, Mr. Patel said, as Mr. Johnson left to continue his route. As Mr. Johnson continued his rounds, he thought about how much he appreciated the small moments of kindness he experienced each day. Stopping at the corner store for a cold drink was one of the highlights of his day. It gave him a chance to rest and recharge before finishing his deliveries. Saturday. Preparing for a dinner party. Saturday evening, a young couple, Jane and Mark, came into the store. They looked excited and a little nervous. Jane was holding a list, and Mark was pushing a shopping cart. Hi, Mr. Patel. We need some supplies for our first dinner party, Jane said. Congratulations. What do you need? Mr. Patel asked. They picked up pasta, fresh vegetables, cheese, and a bottle of wine. Mr. Patel helped them find everything they needed. Thank you, Mr. Patel. We want everything to be perfect, Mark said. I'm sure it will be. Enjoy your dinner party, Mr. Patel replied warmly. Jane and Mark left the store, looking forward to their special evening. They spent the afternoon preparing the food, setting the table, and making sure everything was just right. Their friends arrived, and the dinner party was a great success. Everyone complimented the delicious food, and Jane and Mark were thrilled. Sunday. Reflecting and restocking. On Sunday, the store was closed, and Mr. Patel took some time to reflect on the week. He enjoyed the peace and quiet as he restocked the shelves and tidied up the store. He thought about Mrs. Thompson and her delicious cookies, Tom and his quick lunches, the cheerful school kids, the new neighbor Emily, Mr. Johnson, the mail carrier, and the young couple, Jane and Mark. Each customer brought something special to the store. As he finished his work, Mr. Patel felt grateful for his little corner store and the wonderful people who visited it. He knew that each day brought something new and looked forward to the week ahead. Mr. Patel turned off the lights and locked the door, ready for a restful evening. The corner store stood quietly in the neighborhood, ready to welcome its customers again tomorrow. As Mr. Patel walked home, he thought about the special moments he shared with his customers. Each interaction, no matter how small, added a bit of warmth and connection to the neighborhood. He knew that his store was more than just a place to buy groceries. It was a gathering spot for the community. That evening, he sat down with his family for dinner. His wife, Meera, and their two children, Priya and Rahul, listened as he recounted the week's events. "It sounds like you had a busy week, Dad," Priya said. "I love hearing about all the people who come to the store." "It's true," Mr. Patel replied. "We have a wonderful community, and I'm grateful to be a part of it." The next day, Monday, marked the start of a new week. The bell above the door chimed as Mrs. Thompson walked in, ready to buy more ingredients for her famous cookies. She greeted Mr. Patel with a smile, and they chatted about her grandchildren. As the week progressed, familiar faces returned to the store. Tom stopped by for his quick lunch. The school kids came in for their after-school treats, and Emily, the new neighbor, dropped in to say hello and pick up some groceries. Mr. Johnson enjoyed his cold drink on his route, and Jane and Mark shared stories from their successful dinner party. Each day brought a new rhythm to the store, filled with the sounds of laughter, conversations, and the ringing of the cash register. Mr. Patel found joy in the daily routine and the connections he made with his customers. On Thursday, Emily returned with a plate of homemade cookies. "I wanted to thank you for being so welcoming," she said, handing the plate to Mr. Patel. "These are for you and your family." Mr. Patel was touched by her gesture. "Thank you, Emily. That's very kind of you. We'll enjoy these very much." Emily smiled. "It's the least I can do. Your store has made my move to this neighborhood so much easier." The weekend arrived, and the store was bustling with activity. On Saturday, Jane and Mark returned to the store, this time with a new challenge, planning a picnic for their friends. "Mr. Patel, we need your help again," Jane said. "We're hosting a picnic, and we want it to be perfect." "Of course! Let's see what you need," Mr. Patel replied, guiding them through the store. They picked up sandwiches, fruits, drinks, and some snacks. Mr. Patel added a special touch by suggesting a few local delicacies that would be perfect for their picnic. Sunday evening was Mr. Patel's favorite time of the week. After closing the store, he would sit in his small office at the back, reflecting on the week and planning for the days ahead. He enjoyed the quiet moments, thinking about the interactions he had with his customers and the stories they shared. He smiled as he remembered the excited school kids, the stressed office worker who found a moment of peace, the elderly woman baking cookies with love, the mail carrier cooling off on a hot day, the new neighbor finding her way, and the young couple planning their special events. Each person added a unique thread to the tapestry of the neighborhood. Mr. Patel felt a deep sense of satisfaction and gratitude. His corner store was more than just a business. It was a place where memories were made, friendships were formed, and the community came together. As he finished restocking the shelves and tidying up, Mr. Patel looked forward to the new week with anticipation. He knew that more stories, more connections, and more special moments awaited him and his customers. With a heart full of contentment, Mr. Patel turned off the lights, locked the door, and walked home, ready to rest and recharge for another week at the corner store.